Hey folks, Roland Martin here, broadcasting live from the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic here in Providence, Rhode Island. Coming up next on Roland Martin Unfiltered, we'll hear from a number of people who are here, including Jeffrey Osborne, Smokey Robinson, Dr. J, Norm Nixon, Gary Payton. I mean, it's all kind of folks, celebrities who are here, lots of Hall of Famers, Ozzie Smith in baseball as well, so we'll have a chance to chat with all of them. But, of course, we also want to cover the news of the day. Donald Trump continues his attacks against Baltimore, continues to lie, continues to make up stuff, and continues to make his racist-based appeal. Then he actually says African-Americans should be thanking him for being president. What the hell is he talking about? Some of the 2020 presidential candidates won't survive after the debates of the next 2 days. We'll tell you what to watch for and how black women could affect the outcome of the election. A 10-year-old black boy is charged for hitting a white boy in the face with a ball during a dodgeball game. Isn't the whole point of dodgeball to get hit? And the black family says they were racially profiled at a Nike store and accused of stealing a basketball. That person who did it no longer has a job. And A$AP Rocky pleads not guilty as his assault trial begins in Sweden. And Ole Miss students face a civil rights investigation after posing with guns in front of an Emmett Till Memorial. Folks, it's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the fine. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now. Martin.
All right, folks, Roland Martin here, broadcasting live from the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic here in Providence, Rhode Island. We're going to be hearing from a number of the celebrities, Hall of Fame players who are actually here at this golf tournament, raising money for the arts here in Rhode Island, where Jeffrey Osborne is from. But first, let's talk about what is happening in politics. Donald Trump continues to double down on his attacks on Baltimore and Congressman Elijah Cummings. Today, Trump chose to go talk to the media on the White House lawn, and is expected it was an absolute shit show.
No, Baltimore has been very badly mishandled for many years. As you know, Congressman Cummings has been there for a long time. He's had a very iron hand on it. It's a corrupt city. There's no question about it. All you have to do is look at the facts. The government has pumped in over the years billions and billions of dollars to no avail, to absolutely no avail. Baltimore is an example of what corrupt government leads to. Billions of dollars have been given, and I feel so sorry for the people of Baltimore. And if they ask me, we will get involved. But we're already involved from the standpoint that over many years, billions and billions of dollars have been given to Baltimore. It's been misspent, it's been missing, it's been stolen with a lot of corrupt government. And as you know, Cummings has been in charge. Now, I will say this. I think that Representative Cummings should take his oversight committee and start doing oversight on Baltimore. He'd find out some real things.
And, of course, Trump chose to say he's been getting lots of phone calls from guess who?
Visit Baltimore and go tour it today?
At the right time, I'll visit. But the people of Baltimore are very thankful. They have let us know by the thousands of people because of the fact that finally somebody's pointing out how corrupt Baltimore is, how billions and billions of dollars have been stolen. And the ones that like it the best, what I'm doing, are African-American voters. Those are the ones. Thank you.
All right, folks, let's go to our panel. Kelly Bethea, communication strategist. Dr. Jason Nichols, Department of African American Studies at the University of Maryland, and Melik Abdul, Vice President, Black Conservative Federation. Melik, I'll start with you. Donald Trump is claiming, he's getting tons of phone calls from Baltimore. You never seem to ever actually show proof of that. Let's just be real, Melik. He is mad that Congressman Elijah Cummings is chairman of the House Oversight Committee and chose to actually subpoena folks who Trump knows. So he wants to attack Cummings, and then he wants to, with his attacks on Baltimore. And if Baltimore's so bad, why are the Republicans actually going to Baltimore for their retreat, Melik?
Well, I don't know why they chose to go to Baltimore. Or I'll say I don't know when that decision was actually made to go to Baltimore, but I think they should go to Baltimore. They should go to any inner city around the country. I don't particularly have a problem with that. I do know that Donald Trump was upset, if you want to call it that, at the way that the congressman actually handled the hearing with the, the CPB director. I do know that that's a lot of what was driving him, but the fact that he's making those, this sort of commentary about Baltimore, it is somewhat similar to what we've heard, and not just Baltimore, but in other cities as well. I think what he actually said today is a much different approach than how it initially started out, which he was very hot in the language that he chose to use. So I think focusing on where he is now, I think that's actually probably a good space for him. But whether or not there were thousands of people who actually contacted him, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that he's gotten some positive feedback and some criticism, from what I understand, from people who've met with him on just how he chooses to communicate his point of view.
This man has lied before when it came to getting phone calls. Sarah Huckabee Sanders lied when she said they heard from FBI agents. It was a lie. Jason Nichols, at the end of the day, what you have is you have a grown-ass man throwing a temper tantrum. He's upset that somebody's not bowing to his will, and he's attacking. But also, he sounds absolutely ignorant and stupid when you literally have Republicans who are going for a retreat there in Baltimore. When you actually have significant parts of Baltimore that are doing great. But the reality is this here. I can show you some rural parts of America run by Republicans that are broke as hell and that are horrible. So this attack on Baltimore is the usual shameful, despicable actions of a childish grown man, Jason.
I think you just said it. As a matter of fact, the second poorest congressional district in the country is in Kentucky. It's under Representative Hal Rogers. And that is the second poorest district in the country. 4 of the 5 poorest states in the nation are Republican states. And as a matter of fact, if he says that thousands of Baltimore residents have been calling him and saying that this is so great and they're African American, let's just check out what the exit polls say in 2020 when he runs, how well he does in Baltimore. The other thing is I will say is that I am one of the constituents of Elijah Cummings. I live in the 7th district. And as a matter of fact, it is the second wealthiest majority African-American district in the country. So, again, all of this is really because he's angry. He's throwing a temper tantrum. If he really wanted to fix Baltimore, he would come with solutions. But yet, all it's been is vitriol.
Kelly, the reality is he has no solutions. He has none. And unfortunately, the governor of that state has been too silent, Republican Larry Hogan, with his both sides BS. And that's what you have here. And so what you see is a childish president who wants to rip folks because he's mad that they are doing their job.
Absolutely. I can't comment on Governor Hogan's stance on this, him, straddling the fence. That's kind of his MO, but I do know that he's on the record saying that he does not support this president, so his silence might just be a delayed response. I'm not sure. Regarding Trump's comments regarding Baltimore, Cummings was my representative for a very long time. In fact, I was his intern when I was in law school, so I have great respect for him, great respect for the district, and the nostalgia's there. However, I am frankly just tired of the distractions that this president has been putting in front of us regarding his rhetoric. We already know he's a racist. We already know that he's ignorant. We already know that he doesn't know what he's talking about. But what we do not know is what's actually happening in our administration. What we what's not actually being discussed is the fact that he's suing the Ways and Means Committee. The stuff that's not being discussed is the fact that we have, basically internment camps at the border that he's supporting and not saying anything on. We have actual issues that we need to talk about, and him being a racist shouldn't be one of them because we've been there, done that.
At the end of the day, Malik, what you're seeing here is, again, a childish man who doesn't know how to govern, who doesn't know how to communicate, and all he wants to do is attack as opposed to lead. And so we could literally go all across America. I mean, we can go to his own. This is a guy who actually called the cops to arrest homeless folks who were actually on the streets outside of his building. And so he didn't want them on Fifth Avenue. I mean, this is what you're dealing with, a callous individual who doesn't know how to lead, and all he knows how to do is trash people. And where in the hell is the First Lady with her anti-bullying campaign? When is she going to walk across the hall, because they don't sleep in the same bed, when is she going to walk across the hall and say, hey, grown-ass man, act like one?
Well, I don't think that we need to involve the First Lady in this. I don't think that we need to make any sort of observations or comments.
Wait a minute. Does she not have an anti-bully campaign?
I don't think that we need to make any comments on what goes on in their bedroom, just like we shouldn't comment on what goes on in anyone's bedroom. But to your point about Donald Trump,
does she not have an anti-bully campaign?
Whether that or not, you don't have to throw the First Lady.
Does she have an anti-bully campaign?
You don't have to throw the First Lady actually into this. The First Lady's anti-bullying campaign should actually apply.
Why not?
I think across the board that politicians, celebrities, leaders in the community need to elevate their own language in addition to Donald Trump. They need to learn to elevate their own language. This just doesn't start or end with Donald Trump.
No. Who is they?
They, whether it's other politicians, whether it's people in the media, whether it's celebrities.
Who's they? No. I need names. See, no. Malik, I don't play this game. I don't play this game.
Maxine Waters, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Maxine Waters, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, representative.
That is even remotely degrading.
But the language that they use is part of what we're talking about when we talk about this toxic culture that we have here. So to say that they don't contribute to it is ridiculous. I mean, and this notion that somehow, well, we can't talk about Baltimore, but we can talk about places like, for instance, Mississippi. I mean, we're often talking about places that Republicans have, but that's the conversation going on now. What's happening in red states?
About?
I don't think that we need to have those.
Mississippi?
Well, I know. I said I gave that as an example. I gave that as an example of the conversations the national conversations that we have about places that are particularly red states. So we generally have these type of conversations. Yes, Donald Trump should actually be mindful of how his comments are actually coming across to people in these areas. But the notion that people aren't going around talking about other cities, that's just false. It's just not true at all.
Jason, that's a little BS dance.
It's not a BS dance. You just don't like to hear it because that means
it is a BS dance.
That means that you're spreading it around.
It's a BS dance.
Of course, you're going to focus on Republicans because it benefits your politics.
It's a BS dance, Malik. It's a BS dance when a guy you voted for.
Yeah, and I'm going to vote for again in 2020.
Anytime he wants to talk about infestation. No, allow me. The guy you voted for and the guy you're going to vote for again.
Absolutely.
Whenever he discusses infestation, whenever he discusses rats and rodents, it's always black and brown people, Jason.
Not San Francisco?
Always black and brown people. Jason, go ahead.
No,
Jason, go ahead.
That's very true.
Jason, go ahead.
But one thing I will say is that I'm not going to cape for some of the politicians in Baltimore who've been there for years who have made some serious errors and mistakes. So I don't want to sit here and make it sound like I'm on their side. There have been mistakes making. I wouldn't put Elijah Cummings necessarily in that category, but there are some politicians in Baltimore. I don't think they're lining their pockets with billions of dollars. I don't think that's happening. I think that they've tried to find solutions.
But Jason,
can't do that.
Let's also deal in facts, Jason.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Let's
deal in facts.
This man stood there. Jason.
Yes.
Jason, this man stood there and said Elijah Cummings, he runs the city.
Yeah, that's
iron hand.
Completely and patently false. That's absolutely false. And I think
And then
it didn't start with Elijah Cummings in 1996. It's institutional racism.
Let's expose the other lies.
Deindustrialization. It's war on drugs. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
let's expose the other lies. Okay? He acts as if Johns Hopkins is not there. He acts as if the Under Armour CEO, okay, who is from Baltimore, who's from Maryland, headquarters are in Baltimore, who met with Trump. So if Baltimore is so bad, see, this is what they do. The same thing happened when Freddie Gray took place. They were like, oh my God, Baltimore is on fire. No, Baltimore wasn't on fire. There were 3 blocks that were on fire, but Baltimore wasn't on fire. But this is the game they play, Jason and Kelly, where they want to all of a sudden say, oh my God, it's all bad, it's all woeful, it's all trash, it's all corrupt. When Trump hails from a state where the governor had to resign because he was with prostitutes. Come on, man.
Again, the hypocrisy has always been there. I can't disagree with you. It's the truth. You know, it is specifically with Freddie Gray. I was there. Like, I was one of those few blocks that could see the smoke going up. Like, my Rite Aid, the one that I frequent, was the one that burned down. So I understand the Baltimore uprising. We call it the uprising because of what it stood for. So I get it. But what I don't understand is the hyperbole, the hypocrisy, the lying. It's just not necessary. But this president isn't necessary, so we have to deal with that too.
And what is shameful, to have individuals who excuse all of this, who say, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for him, who clearly don't mind him being despicable, who don't mind his shameful behavior, who don't mind his racist attacks.
And none of what you're saying is going to change anyone's opinion about voting for him, Roland. None of those insults are going to change anyone's opinion about whether or not they're going to support Donald Trump. So you can call him despicable, you can call him anything that you want to call him, and it's not going to change anyone's opinion who's going to vote for him, just as the same as it's not going to go in the other direction. So you can call him despicable from today all the way up until the end of the week. It's not going to change anyone's position on whether or not they're going to vote for him.
But that's the tragedy of it all. That is the outrage.
But Roland doesn't dictate votes. Roland doesn't dictate votes.
Wait a minute.
Roland is one person.
Allow me to finish. Excuse me. What does it say about the individual who doesn't have a problem with lying, who doesn't have a problem with him being degrading, who doesn't have a problem with his shameful tweets, who doesn't have a problem with how he attacks
It means that they can make decisions for themselves without Roland dictating on what they can. It means that they can make decisions for themselves without Roland giving them the go-ahead to do so. So that's why we can't. That's why we can't. It means that Roland has an opinion about it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your opinion is about me, Donald Trump, or anyone who supports him, because it doesn't matter. This is your position. This is going to be your position.
Oh, no, it does matter.
You know it doesn't. It actually doesn't matter. Because in November of 2020, the rest of us will actually be voting for him, and it does not matter.
What if we come with facts?
Right.
What if we come with facts about Donald Trump and his corruption, and about Donald Trump and his racism?
But what corruption?
Would you be willing to change your vote
but what corruption?
if we were able to come with facts?
But you have to show it to me first.
I can show you
that he said some bad things about Baltimore is not going to be enough.
No. I can show you the Mueller report of obstruction of justice.
Mueller report?
I can show you obstruction of justice. I can show.
Impeach him.
But that's not. I'm talking about your vote.
But,
is there anything that would alter your vote?
And as we've had this conversation before, at this point, no. Who knows what may happen tomorrow, next month, or anything? But because Jason doesn't like him, because Jason thinks that he's a
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
so
if you are presented
because of the Mueller report.
I'm saying if you are presented with new information.
But what new information?
But you're like, no.
We get new information daily about how corrupt this president is.
Talking points that have been here forever. So you haven't produced anything new.
I mean,
wow. The fact that somebody could literally sit here and with all the crap this dude has done, with all of the despicable cabinet secretaries who have been corrupt, and still say I'm going to vote for him, that's shameful.
Well,
all right, y'all,
go to my next story. But your opinion doesn't matter.
All right, folks, the second round of, excuse me, I'm going to the next story. The second round of the Democratic presidential debate starts tonight in Detroit. For the next 2 nights, the 20 candidates will take the stage and make their cases for getting the nomination, a critical voting bloc that they need to target black women. A new survey by Black Women for America outlines the issues that are important to them. Here to talk about what those issues are and how to best address them is the president of the Black Women for America, Sarah Lattimore Irvin. Sarah, how you doing?
Good, Roland. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. And so when we talk about the issues that black women care about, what are the top 3? What sits at the top for black women they want to hear from these candidates?
Healthcare, gun rights, police brutality, the minimum wage, and abortion rights are the top issues that came out of our survey.
Now, when you say gun rights, what does that actually mean? Explain that.
Gun control. African-American women are feeling somewhat traumatized around all of the issues around gun control, our young men and women being gunned down in the streets. Gun control is really important, as well as addressing the issues of police brutality. 40% of women feel that health care is the top priority, and that's true across the entire population. But gun rights and police brutality came in at 35% and 29%, respectively. So it's really important to African-American women.
When you talk about the health care, is it the Affordable Care Act? Is it single payer? Is it Medicaid expansion? Exactly what is it?
It's all of the above. We didn't drill down into the specific issues, but health care overall was really important to black women.
And so what are now, first of all, and also when you talk about education, also one of those issues. One of the things that, look, I've been warning Democrats about, we saw it in Florida, when it comes to the issue of school choice and charter schools. Look, there were 18% black women who voted for Ron DeSantis against Andrew Gillum, and many folks believe it is because of the issue of school choice in charter schools. And I keep warning Democrats, do not play folks small on that. African Americans care about their kids' education, and that's a powerful voting block. When you see, and again, if black women hate Republicans more than anybody else, to see the 18% number, that should scare Democrats on this issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the other issues that came up was, does the Democratic Party take my vote for granted? And that's really important because 30% of black women feel that the Democrats take our votes for granted. However, when we look at whether or not they believe the government will make the right decisions for black women, our families, and our community, 57% of women don't trust the government. So that's another key issue and an opportunity for Democrats to begin to turn around those issues.
All right. Sarah Lattimore Irvin, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us, Black Women for America.
Thank you.
All right, folks, going to a break. When we come back, more for the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Back in a moment. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it. All right, folks, you heard me talk a lot about marijuanastock.org. Why? Because I want to keep you informed of investment opportunities that make sense. We've all watched the growth of the cannabis industry. A recent report by New Frontier Data estimates the global cannabis market at more than $340 billion. We know that marijuana legalization is sweeping the country state by state. We also know that marijuana has a good cousin, the hemp plant, with a much higher concentration of CBD. That means hemp gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S., thus creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all of the plants. And, folks, this is where our friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. Our friends at 420 Real Estate decided to do something special for the Roland Martin Unfiltered family. Originally, the minimum investment level was $500, but right now you can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200. That's right, $200 up to $10,000. Let me recap. This is a $340 billion industry that is still growing, and you can participate with as little as $200. To invest, go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Get in the game, and get in the game now. All right, folks, let's talk about this crazy story. A 10-year-old Michigan boy has been charged with assault because he hit a classmate in the face with a ball while playing dodgeball. The boy being punished is, of course, black, and his classmate is, of course, white. The mothers of both boys talked about what happened, although the white mother did not want to be identified.
My son was hit twice in the face with a ball previously due to this, and the child apologized to my son, and he said, "Mom, it's okay. We're still going to be friends."
I'm unaware of any of those situations. Sorry that her child got hurt. I'd be sorry for any child that got hurt.
The injured child's mother says her son had a previous medical condition that made him susceptible to head injuries. So my question, why in the hell was he playing dodgeball, Kelly?
Because as far as I'm concerned, he's frail and he never needed to be there in the first place. If the young black boy is being charged with assault, then my logic follows that the white mother should be charged with child neglect because she knew about her baby. She knew that he was not...
Excuse me.
I'm sorry?
Kelly, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, the white mother knew about the physicality of her child, and yet there was no, to my knowledge, any type of, permission slip, guarding him from the dodgeball game. Nobody saying that people knew about it, things like that. And it's dodgeball. I mean, I can only imagine how many assault charges I could have pressed when I was 10 years old playing soccer, football, kickball. Oh, my God, kickball. Plenty of dodgeball, wrestling. I got cauliflower ear once. I mean, that's definitely an assault charge right there. I mean, but the fact of the matter is these are children, and this happens amongst children. And the fact that the mother of the injured doesn't see that or refuses to see the black boy as a child, it's beyond frustrating.
Jason, I am utterly confused here.
Yeah.
When you play dodgeball, you are going to actually get hit. That's the point of the game.
Absolutely. It's funny because when I think about when I was young and 10 years old, I used to try to hit my friends in the face with the ball. That was like part of the game. We all tried to do that. And that was, there wasn't malice involved. It was because that was the game. It was fun. It was funny. And obviously, I think as Kelly already stated, if he had a head injury or something like that, he should not have been let in the game. And if she had let the school know and they still let him play, then maybe the school is liable. But this young man is not. And I would certainly blame any law enforcement agency or any state that charges a 10-year-old child with assault for a school dodgeball game that was sanctioned by adults. So I think this is all absurd. It's ridiculous. I understand, I am a parent. I understand how parents can be sometimes out of their minds with their protection of their children. But if the state is getting involved, or if law enforcement is getting involved, or if lawyers are actually taking these cases or anything like that, they are being absurd and ridiculous. And they should be punished for getting involved in something so frivolous.
This is where I hope a judge throws this out, and the judge should say, ma'am, this is a dumb lawsuit. Melik?
Yeah, I mean, it's the idea that the mother had, dodgeball is a physical sport. We already know that it's a physical sport. So if the child had any sort of medical condition that would have affected him playing such a physical sport, then he shouldn't have been out there anyway. I don't know how, I don't even know how a 10-year-old is charged with some sort of assault. I mean, I live in D.C., so I see what kids do when they're really assaulting people. But this is in the on the course of a game. I really don't understand that. I do know, and it was weird. I was trying to find out some background. Why was the child? Because the child was actually suspended for one day, and then the mother accepted that suspension. But I'm not sure. I was just trying to get some background information on why is it that the child was suspended anyway. But I haven't been able to find anything. But any child that's subject to some sort of, resulting from some sort of physical involvement in a sport, if there's something that was documented, or even if it wasn't documented, that's something that the mother should have known herself and should have prevented it. But charging a 10-year-old for a volleyball game, and not just a dodgeball game, but any game, any sports that's sanctioned by a school, to charge a 10-year-old or an 18-year-old just doesn't make sense to me at all.
I am sick of these stupid people. All right, folks, let's go to our next story. Rapper A$AP Rocky pleaded not guilty to assault today on the first day of his trial in Sweden. He spent almost a month in prison. Rocky and the two other suspects say that they were acting in self-defense after being harassed by two men, one of whom was alleged victim. We'll certainly keep you updated on what happens in that particular case. All right, folks. Let's also do with this next story, which is kind of, it's typical of what's happening here in this country. 3 University of Mississippi students have been suspended from their fraternity house and face a possible investigation by the Department of Justice after posing with guns in front of a bullet-riddled sign honoring slain civil rights icon Emmett Till. One of the students posted a photo to his private Instagram account in March showing the trio in front of a roadside plaque commemorating the site where Till's body was recovered from the Tallahatchie River. The picture, which was obtained by the Mississippi Center for Investigative Reporting and ProPublica, shows an Ole Miss student named Ben LeClaire holding a shotgun while standing in front of the sign. His Kappa Alpha fraternity brother, John Lowe, squats below the sign, and a third fraternity member stands on the other side with an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle. All right, Melik, this your folks in Mississippi?
What about it? I mean, there's nothing to actually really. It was ridiculous. It was insensitive. We know that. I think they were suspended or something, but they should be expelled from the school. It's not a whole lot to really, defend in this particular case. And, and I'm sure they'll argue that, it was just, ignorance or what have you. Yeah, it was ignorance. But in this case, you have to suffer the consequences of that, because I'm pretty sure that if someone was, we're in front of some sort of Holocaust memorial or something and did something that was equally as offensive, there would be a lot of outrage about it. So expel them, get them on out of the way, let Ole Miss continue as it's been doing now.
Well, Kelly, I doubt I'll be seeing a tweet from Donald Trump about this.
No, you won't, and we expect that, right? But I also expect this kind of behavior from fraternity brothers in which the frat is historically racist. One of their their pillars in their frat is General Lee. And then they go to Ole Miss, which is a historically racist school in a historically racist state. Hey. It is historically racist. I'm not saying...
Which state is not historically racist?
Yeah, I was about to say.
No. Completely...
Some more
taken.
than others, but yeah.
Yes, I'm not saying Mississippi is the end-all, be-all with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'll echo my colleagues here and say the exact same thing and say that this is despicable. I think that they should absolutely be expelled. They should be tried to the full extent of the law, but yet the law would rather go after kids who throw dodgeballs in people's faces rather than people who deface property. And basically, to me, this is a form of intimidation. We all know Emmett Till's story, at least how the story ended, with him being tied to a fan unit and thrown into the Tallahatchie River, his mangled body being dragged out of that river. And for them to do that is a form of intimidation. It's a form of, basically visual terrorism. Them shooting up the sign is something that it could be seen as a terroristic threat to a lot of people.
And that's not
I
the
think
first time
they
it's
should
happened.
they should be held to the full extent of the law. And this is like Kelly said. We've had a lot of students from that university that have done other things that can be considered the exact same thing and the exact same terrible acts. So something has to be done. The state needs to put their foot down. The university needs to put their foot down so that people know that you can't do these kinds of things.
Right. All right, folks. Look at my next story. A black family in California said they were racially profiled at a Nike store in Santa Monica when a white manager followed Joel Stallworth and Tamia Dickerson and accused them of stealing a $12 basketball that they had bought. The store manager then flagged down police officers. Here's what happened.
Why would you don't even ask your people?
We just told you we bought this right here at the Nike store in Santa Monica right now. We just told you we bought it. What do you need the receipt for?
Because we didn't have our basketball.
What are you talking about? So now you come refund his money and I want an apology. This is fucking ridiculous. And it's profiling. She is an idiot. What does it say on there? What does it say on there?
No, because you.
What does it say on there?
Talk to me stupid. She didn't even ask.
I have no clue what's going on. You guys want to tell me what's going on? I want to know what's
We
going on.
purchased this basketball in the store. We purchased this basketball in the store.
I told you I paid for that shit.
Sir, relax.
No, I told her I paid for that, and then she kept my son went out running. No, because you knew better. I told you I paid for that.
Back up, babe. You should be
I
sorry.
told you I paid
You
for
should
that.
be sorry.
You know what?
After showing the receipt to the officer, he gave the basketball back. The couple immediately took the ball back to the store for a refund. Well, Nike, I think y'all owe this couple a hell of a lot more. And again, that's sort of the stuff that we're seeing from black people all over America. All right, folks, going to a break right now. When we come back, we'll chat with some folks here at the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. It is packed with folks in here, so we'll be back in a moment. Roland Martin Unfiltered. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. All right, folks, Roland Martin here with the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. And it is, of course, benefiting all the charities in Rhode Island, money going back to the arts. And so we are here. And so we got the step and repeat over here. We got folks over here. We got some folks outside. We're going to chat with Jeffrey Osborne in just a second. And so we've got the, of course, big night last night. Of course, the sponsors reception. And any number of people here. I mean, Ahmad Rashad, Jeffrey Osborne, Dr. J, Chris Tucker, Johnny Gill is here. And so we're going to be grabbing all of them. In fact, I had Chris Tucker over here for a second. I'm looking for him so I can do a quick interview with him and some of the other folks out here. Tiffany, if you could let Ahmad and those guys outside, right? Tell them come holler at me for a second while we're live. We'd love to chat with them. Every year, Jeffrey Osborne does this golf classic, and it's all about, of course, raising money for nonprofit charities here, really benefiting young folks who want to be involved in music. And speaking of music, also here, you got saxophonist Mike Phillips, he's here. You got Elon Trotman, he's here as well. As I mentioned, Johnny Gill. Smokey Robinson is also in the house, and so we're going to be talking with them real soon. And so looking for a great conversation. I think this is probably my fifth year. I believe this is my fifth year here at the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. And a lot of people don't realize Jeffrey's actually from Rhode Island. Also, Claudia Jordan is here as well. And one of the greats, of course, for the Lakers is Norm Nixon. Norm Nixon. Come over here, Norm. Norm, we're live. And so how you doing? Of course, Norm Nixon played for the Lakers, played for the Clippers, and he is.
We won today. You know that.
Who won?
We about 17 under now. Of course, I told the jokes. They carried me.
Oh, slide over here. Who shot 17 under?
We did.
John Starks, come here. Come here, John Starks.
Hey.
John Starks, come here.
I had 2 scratch players.
John Starks, he just had the nerve to say they shot 17 under.
What? On this course?
I had 2 scratch players.
I don't care what you had, scratch player.
2.
What you say the winning score is going to be?
The winning score really should be, max 10.
10. I agree with you. Yeah.
Legitimate. I'm telling you, legitimate.
I can't see.
Listen,
I can't see
listen,
17
listen. I can't see. Let me tell you something. I stopped even hitting the ball, man. I started telling jokes. These boys hitting the ball so far.
Is that right?
I'm talking about the guy that hit it the farthest weighed about 130 pounds. He was hitting the ball 300.
We can't see John. Hold on.
No. I'm telling you, man. Listen, they've won this tournament twice.
So you had 2 scratch players.
And their dad can play. The dad's about a 5. These were his sons. And both of those boys are like scratch golfers.
Wow.
So I had 3 real players.
You had 3 real players?
I had 3 real players.
I don't believe that.
Okay, you don't have to believe, but Doc was behind us. Doc saw these boys because I called the groups around me just to watch these guys hit the ball because it was unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. All right, upcoming basketball season. Get y'all thoughts. Crazy changes. Kawhi Leonard goes to Los Angeles Clippers. You got Anthony Davis going to the Lakers. Then, of course, Russell Westbrook going to my Houston Rockets. And so your assessment of anybody left in the East?
Well, you know what I told you last year. I was inviting you and the Rockets to my house to watch the finals. I will invite you guys again this year to come watch the NBA finals.
Well, your Lakers going to be watching too?
Not necessarily.
Are they going to actually make the playoffs?
They will make the playoffs, but there is no guarantees about anything. Because like I tell everybody, LeBron has been hurt. Anthony Davis has been hurt. You go across town, Kawhi Leonard's been hurt. Paul George has been hurt. Now, the Clippers had the better foundation, so I think they'll be the better team. But we have to see how it all plays out.
Has anybody forgot about the Warriors?
Yes.
I have. You know, they was decimated, obviously, having lost KD and as well as Klay Thompson for most of the year, you know, so it's going to be struggling. I'm just looking at the West. I was actually going through it and looking at the West. That West is loaded. It's loaded, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. You got to figure Sacramento then got better, you know what I mean? Dallas is going to be a lot better. So you bring those 2 teams in the mix. So it's going to be the fight to see if the Warriors can make the playoffs this year.
All right, Dan.
Oh, I agree with him. The Warriors were decimated, and then they lost their heart and soul. You know, quiet is kept. People forget that Iguodala was the MVP a couple of years ago, and he's the MVP for a reason because he did everything. Played defense, rebound, pass the ball.
Sean Livingston's gone, too.
Sean's gone. Klay Thompson's been hurt. Now, like he said, they're decimated now.
The backup point guard, Cook, left, I think, with the Lakers, too.
Yeah, Lakers are going to be formidable this year. Obviously, adding AD, you know, adding, you know, possibly, you know, some other players that may come in. But they still have LeBron, so they're going to be tough.
All right, well, gentlemen, John, it was good playing with you today. Well, we played.
This man hits the ball. I'm telling y'all that now. 17. Don't sleep on this man right here.
My team won. 17, baby. 17.
We're going to find out what the real score is. We can
17.
Yeah, okay.
He say 17.
I don't believe for a second. Hey, do me a favor. Grab Reggie Theus and Dr. J. Send them over here so we can get to them live, folks here. Y'all, I had to tilt the camera up because, you know, folks are a little bit taller here. And so, again, Clifton Davis is also, I see Clifton down there. And the great Lee Elder, of course, the first African-American to play in the Masters. Lee is also here as well. And so it's always great seeing all these guys here. Our good buddy Eddie Levert is not here this year. Because for his daughter has some health issues, and so we certainly wish our best to Eddie, and so we certainly would love to see him here as well. All right, folks, we are going to chat with a few folks, so let's do this here. We go to a break on your end, if you can go ahead and do that, and then we're going to come back here. We'll be chatting with some of the more folks here, some more of the celebrities here at the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. Back on Roland Martin Unfiltered in a moment. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Yeah. Yep. All right, folks, welcome back to the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. And so we've had a great time here. First of all, we talked the Club Pro. Come on, step in here. We played golf with him yesterday. And so glad to have you. Tell everybody who you are.
My name's Troy Perry. I'm the head golf pro here at Ledgemont.
Okay, so Norm Nixon just told me his team shot 17 under. I think he's lying with the greens out here.
17 under? I don't think anybody on that board was 17 under.
That's my
He's lying
point.
to you.
That's my point.
You must be a Dallas fan.
Norm a little touched.
A little bit. I think I might have a little too much to drink.
But, of course, first of all, the setup was great. Course is in great condition.
Thank you. It's been really hard up here in the Northeast with a lot of rain, but we've managed to get through everything. And you guys are great. You were fun to play with yesterday. We had a ball out there.
Absolutely. Well, good seeing you. And we're going to keep, hopefully we'll see you next year.
You got it. Hope so.
All right. Thanks a bunch. I appreciate it. Coming over here right now is, let me tell y'all something. Okay. Y'all would not believe he is going to be 70 years old later this year. What? What?
He's about to be 70 years old. Look at it.
Step over here.
Well,
Look at it.
Talking about?
I mean, come on. I'm talking about you.
Why you got to tell everybody I'm going to be 70? I ain't 70. I'm 69.
I said later this year.
Oh, later this year.
Right. So when is your 70th?
I'm saying it now so it rolls off my tongue. When I get to be 70, I'll be able to say it and not feel weird about saying it.
But you shouldn't feel weird about saying it because, look, you could have always stopped.
No, that is that is true.
Hold on, let me put this down. I know. Let me put this down right here. Yeah, don't want that on television.
Anyway, wasn't mine.
What yours?
No, man. So I'm trying to set an example for you. See, so 70, I think I look good. I keep myself in shape. So then everybody realizes that you got a future like mine. You're gonna be 70 one day, in about 10, 15 years?
No, actually, I'll be 70 in 20 years.
Well, it's going to be a good 20 years. And I'm going to be at the party. I mean, 90, you ain't going to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. You be like your buddy, you be Blake, they're going to wheel you in.
What? No, they won't be wheeling me in. I'll be walking everywhere I go. I am in much better shape than UB Blake. And that was a shot. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who UB Blake is, he was 117 years old. That's what he's saying. I look like UB Blake.
Yeah, but he was still doing his thing.
Yeah, I know, but he was not. I'm not looking to be UB Blake. I'm looking to be Ahmad Rashad in 20 more years at your birthday party.
Oh, no, and I'll be still jamming.
Me too, right with you. I'll be right there with you.
Now, let me tell you something about Ahmad. Ahmad said he does not.
Let's let the record be known that 69-year-old Al drove you by at least 50 yards every hole.
Well, yeah, because he
tell everybody that.
I have no problem saying that because he literally plays golf every day. I'm working. In fact, I'm working right now.
As if that's an excuse. Oh, I play every day. I don't play every day. I take a couple days off every now and then.
Right, so you play 5 days a week.
5 or 6.
And sometimes 36 holes in a day.
Sometimes I do that.
Which makes up for the day you don't play.
But it don't make no difference of how far I am ahead of you.
Yeah, but it's all good, though.
That's right. That's what I love about it.
I ain't worried about it.
Me neither. They just came in the 70, and then I'm driving farther than you. All I know, if I was you, I would never let nobody 70 hit a ball past me.
That wouldn't faze me a bit.
Didn't it all?
Didn't faze me at all.
Larger human being. You are a large human being. You can handle that.
I got no problem with
yourself. You can be saying, man, that dude knocked the ball way past me.
If you play golf that much... If you play, Ahmad, are you serious?
Okay, I play that much.
Ahmad, literally, last time I saw you, you were the color of the pro. That's how much you play. That's how much sun you've got.
Okay.
You used to be light-skinned like Reggie Theus and Smokey Robinson.
I knew not to get you going.
You used to be a member of the light-skin club.
I was, but I'm not anymore, and I enjoy playing golf, and I really enjoy, being 70, that I'm going to be 70, being able to knock the ball 30, 40 yards past somebody who's 50.
Now, let me let y'all know. Now, when I'm playing back 5 days a week, I'm after his ass.
You know where to find me.
I know where to find you.
Hide.
I know that. Yes.
Yeah, I might not remember this, but I'll be ready. You just come knock on the door, I'll be ready to go.
I heard he say he might not remember it, which means he's almost 70.
No, it means I only look forward, never backwards.
All right, then. Amar Rashad, always good seeing you.
Always so good to see you.
Absolutely, baby. Good to see you. Bringing in right now Coach Mike Woodson. Coach, come on in here. All good? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Really? You just like walk right across the camera, like he ain't never done television. Like I be like, you need your beer back. Okay, gotcha. So, Coach, first and foremost, how'd you play that?
Awful, but I had a great time.
Were you dressed well?
I was dressed well. I mean, I looked the part.
You dressed like a Kappa yesterday with the red polka dots.
No. And I'm not a Kappa. I'm a cowboy guy.
I say you were dressed up, but let's talk about that. Let's talk about you and your trifling Dallas Cowboys.
Let's not say that. Let's not do that. Seriously.
What?
That's not on camera.
Doc, your team is trifling.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. America's team.
They're not even in Dallas.
They are in the state.
They're the Arlington Cowboys.
Texas. Dallas Cowboys. We love you.
No. He does. I can't stand y'all. You know how I feel. I don't like none of y'all. I want y'all to lose every preseason game. That's how we roll.
Let it low. How about the tournament though today?
Oh, you see, I want to change the subject. See, I want to change the subject. Well, you know, everybody ain't able.
You look good, man. Every time I see you, you look good.
So let me tell you something. So first of all, Coach, are you coaching anywhere this year, or you like, you know what? The heck with that. I'm gonna chill at the house.
I would love to get back in the game, but it might not happen this year. So I'll take another year off and watch a lot of basketball and do what I do.
Okay. Well, sounds good then. Groovy. But your Cowboys still suck.
I love Jeffrey Osborne, though.
Mike Woodson, always good to see you, player. Thanks a bunch. I appreciate it. All right, we see Chris Tucker. Send him on over here. Let me tell y'all what was happening. So while we were sitting here on the air, doing these interviews, Chris Tucker was sitting right over there, literally watching the show from the couch over there going, is he on TV? Is he on TV? Yeah, that's what Chris Tucker was doing. And so right now, of course, we're also waiting on Jeffrey Osborne to come over here as well. We need to talk. We'll be talking to him. This is his tournament. Of course, he's doing great with this. And, of course, and speaking of 70, y'all know Jeffrey Osborne is also plus 70 years old. And so all these guys out here, Smokey Robinson, y'all, I mean, looking good. I don't know. I think Smokey Robinson must be drinking and eating the same thing Lorenz Tate eats and drinks. And so because Smokey is 80 and looks absolutely amazing. And so it has been an absolutely fantastic time we've had here, the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. Lots of folks. So what's going on right now is there's going to be the awards presentation, concerts that are going on, a concert going on as well. And so like last night, if y'all follow me on social media, I went live last night where we were on stage, John B. We had Johnny Gill, Clifton Davis was singing Back Up, Javier Colon, they were all singing. And then there was a My Girl sing-off contest between Jeffrey and Johnny. It was absolutely fantastic. I've got some video. If you go to our YouTube channel, hey, Pro, hey, Doc, can you get Smokey Robinson for me? He's straight down there, all the way out. Can you get Smokey for me? Yeah, just bring him right over here. Tell him, yeah, up against the wall. Tell him I'm live and bring him right over here. And so we're going to have a quick conversation with Smokey. But like I said, y'all, it is always a great time here. But the most important thing that I love as somebody who actually played music when I was a kid, all the money raised here goes to support kids who are in the arts. So that's the most important thing, because what we have right now, unfortunately, we have way too many kids who don't have access to instruments, to music, to any of that. And so it's a doggone shame. And so right now, folks, he's making his way over here, looking clean as all get out. Y'all to see this outfit he got, looking smooth. I'm telling you right now, if y'all think Ahmad think he bad at 69, but this brother right here looking good. Man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, baby. How you doing?
I mean, the suit feel good. I mean, look at you.
Check you out. I mean, you always sharp. Golf, regular, whatever it is. You know, this man is always matched up and sharp.
Well, somebody got to do it.
Every time I see him. Never fail.
Man, it's always good seeing you here.
Good to see you too, baby. You know that.
So yesterday, we were playing golf yesterday, and we were talking about music sampling. And y'all know Smokey, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. And tell everybody what you said when it came to new school folks sampling your music.
I said, sample all of mine, please. You know, I want you to sample every song I ever wrote, please.
Because, see, you wrote the song, which means you have publishing.
Yeah, exactly.
So when they sample your music, a check arrives.
That's what I love about it. I don't understand people saying, I don't want them to sample my music. Why? Are you kidding? Yeah.
Well, again, when I was talking with Frankie Beverly Saturday night at Cincinnati Music Festival, I said people said, man, I bet Frankie upset Beyonce redid Before I Let Go. He said, oh no. He said, Beyonce's made me a whole lot of money.
Then he's gonna be upset because Beyonce did one of his songs. What is wrong with the people?
And he wrote it.
Yeah, what is wrong with the people who said that? I know Frankie is elated.
He is elated.
And instantly, if you see Frankie, tell him I said, hey, man, I
sent him a text yesterday, and I said, hey, Smokey wants to holler at you, and so he'll be back, and so we'll make that thing happen. Man, first of all, last time we talked, you at your winery. Yeah. How's that going?
It's going really good, man. Yeah, we've got 5 wines now. When I talked to you last time, we only had 2. We got 5 now. Yeah, so it's going good, man.
Now, do you still have the frozen foods?
No, I don't have that.
Okay, got it. No. I remember.
Yeah, I haven't had that in a while. What happened with us on that is that we started that just before the economy crashed, you know, and the economy crashed, we couldn't get a factor. So we had to shut it down for a minute.
Gotcha. Yeah. But you got the 5 wines, and when we also last talked, you had a Christmas album, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. First Christmas album I ever did as a solo artist. Yeah, 2 years ago.
See, y'all? So y'all don't think he's not putting out music. He's still doing it. Anything else happening next?
I'm in the studio right now, man. In fact, I'm in the studio doing 2 different albums, man. I'm doing one in Spanish and one in English. So I'm doing 2 things right now. I'm working. That's why I'm so wiped out, Roland.
So you're a bilingual brother.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I've been really pumping, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you know, I'm happy.
Absolutely. But man, were you looking good?
You're looking good yourself, my brother. Always.
Somebody got to do it. Got to do it. Smokey. Always good to see you, baby.
Good to see you, baby.
I appreciate it. All right, folks. Again, we are here at the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Golf Classic. We out of time, though. We got to go. Because I've got to go in and help them MC the event in there, the awards and then the concert as well. And so you might see, so do this here, do me a favor. You might see me pop up on Periscope or Facebook or YouTube going live from in there. If we do, you can also enjoy this whole deal. And so that's what we do. All right, folks. So let me thank Melik. Let me thank Jason. Let me thank Kelly. No, we normally had them for longer, but we did some interviews here, and so I want to thank them for actually being on the panel today. Folks, don't forget to support Roland Martin Unfiltered by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Joining our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar you give goes to support what we do here on the show as well. I'll be back in studio tomorrow. I've been on the road for the past 10 days. I'm back in D.C. tomorrow, and we'll be talking about the second night of the Democratic presidential debate, and so look forward to that. And I'll shoot some other interviews, and we'll have those for you tomorrow as well. All right, folks, I got to go. Y'all take care. Holla!